Welcome to week 3 of the New World Genesis program. What do we have in store for week 3?
If I had to pick a week that I personally love the most, it's this one. Here's why. Put on your psychologist hat, anthropologist hat, sociologist hat. You are going to tell us and really dive into the lives of your sentient species or species and tell us what life is really like. As we're pushing down and we get a glimpse of the world, now we're like going into their cities, their towns, their villages, their houses, and getting a sense for how they live their lives. And it's the essence of really granular but very important world building, where you're going to tell us what's their social structure, cities, tribes, who's in power, are they nomadic or have they settled, what kind of dwellings do they live in, what are their family dynamics, how do they raise their young, what faith and religion, how does that shape their belief system, how does that shape their lives, what rituals and behaviors do they have, how do they see themselves and their perception of themselves in the universe. All of that is just so endlessly fascinating because it just gets to the heart of who these beings are. And then part 2, what extends out of that. And when you talk about hierarchy of needs, when you have all of your needs met as a society, you can start to really create art, culture, and leaving a legacy. And this, as you might imagine, would be of real interest to the Merge when it comes to a cultural exchange, that you can benefit from being exposed to the intergalactic community, but you also can offer. I'll touch on, there's a short story in the anthology which references the music of a people. And it's like, that was a contribution that they now give to the Merge, that it spreads like wildfire. People are just caught up in this atonal music because it's something they've never really heard before. And how fascinating that, your culture and legacy, so music, art, writing, poetry, architecture, all of that, everything that we point to and say is definitively us. Every sentient species would have that. What does that look like? What does that sound like? What does that feel like? And how endlessly fascinating.
I would say that for anyone who has listened to this video and is feeling like, wow, this is really exciting, but also a little overwhelming, I don't even know where to start. I would encourage you to just, even if you're not a history buff, do a quick kind of Wikipedia deep dive on an ancient civilization. Go read about ancient Egypt, right? And see how that civilization kind of rose up. And look at something as simple as a civilization in the desert naturally formed around the river, the Nile, right? And that was the life's blood of that civilization. But the deeper you dig, you start to find, well, wait a minute, there's evidence that actually the Sphinx was underwater at some point. So there was the possibility that these were all verdant fields at some point. Was that what started the civilization, and then it dried up and eventually the civilization disappeared? You can find lots of interesting ideas from existing civilizations that we have that can spur you to say, hey, wait a minute, I wonder if maybe this civilization that I'm creating on this new planet might have done something like one of these other civilizations that we have on Earth. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that I've found is that all great science fiction is metaphor, right? It's almost always kind of retelling or foretelling a story that relates to us and our own condition and our own human history. So use our past to inspire the future of the universe.